There's rocks stuck in the tail pulley here, so it's protruding out of the belt.
Creates a bunch of resistance against the belt, and also having all that rock and debris down there certainly is probably what caused our tear in the belt.
Have you ever thought that a small machine failure could unlock a fortune worth millions of dollars? At the Boulder Cut site, everything was running completely normal. Machines were operating, the team was busy with their routine work. But suddenly, one machine stops. At first, it seemed like just a technical issue that would be fixed in a few hours. But this is where the story turns. Because when the engineers go down to fix that fault, they see something that shakes the entire gold mining industry. A find so massive that its value is being estimated at around $75 million. Now just compare this, where many companies struggle for years and still can't extract this much gold. Here, one accident changed everything. The question is, was this just luck? Or was there already a hidden secret buried deep inside the ground? In this video, we will understand step by step how a simple failure created history and why experts are calling it the turning point of the modern gold rush. If you also like gold mining, then subscribe to the channel. It was morning time, and at the Boulder Cut site, like every day, work was going on completely normal. Heavy machines were continuously cutting through the ground, and workers were busy in their routine, because here it was common to extract a few grams or sometimes a few ounces of gold daily. The entire team was focused only on production, how much material would come out today, and how much gold would be extracted from it, because the average output of this site was limited and big finds were very rare. But suddenly, a heavy drilling machine gave a strange jerk, and then it completely stopped. At first, no one took it seriously. This had happened before. Usually it was a small technical problem, like a rock getting jammed or pressure increasing. Operators immediately tried to restart the machine, but this time the situation was different. The machine seemed to be stuck in some unusually hard layer below. Engineers were called in, and when they went down and started the inspection, everything looked normal in the beginning. But then a slight shine appeared inside the soil. At first it was ignored, but as the dirt was removed, that shine kept getting stronger. This is where the story started to change, because this was not just a few grams or ounces, but a signal of a gold layer whose value could reach not thousands, but around $75 million. Boulder Cut was not a new place, but an active mining site that had been operating for years, and where digging had already been done multiple times. The ground here had been cut again and again. Different layers had been explored, and every year some amount of gold was extracted, but mostly at a small level, like a few grams or sometimes a few ounces. If you look at the yearly average, this site gave steady production, but no huge jackpot-like discovery had ever happened here before. The special thing about this place was that it was not inactive. While many mining sites remained silent for years without giving results, Boulder Cut was always active. Machines ran daily, material came out, and slowly profit was generated. But compared to other sites, there are places where companies spend millions, dig for years, and still don't get more than a few ounces of gold. Some projects continue for 5 to 10 years with only hope, but very little result. Boulder Cut in that sense was stable, neither too much risk nor too much reward. The gold found here was enough to keep operations running, workers employed, and the company earning steady income. But because of this stability, no one expected a massive find from this place. Because when a location has already been explored multiple times, it is generally believed that its best part has already been extracted. Machine failure. Breakdown. Boulder Cut साइट पर जिस मशीन ने पूरी स्टोरी चेंज कर दी, वो एक हेवी ड्रिलिंग रिग थी। ऐसी मशीन जो ग्राउंड के अंदर डीप तक जाकर हार्ड रॉक को तोड़ती है और मटेरियल को ऊपर लाती है। Normally, these machines operate under high pressure and constant vibration, and they are designed in such a way that they can handle even the toughest layers. That day also everything was going normal. The machine was drilling at a steady speed, and operators believed that this was just another routine shift where a few grams or maybe a few ounces of gold would be extracted. But suddenly, the machine took a strong jerk, as if it had hit a very hard surface. At first, it felt like a simple rock jam. Sometimes during drilling, big rocks get stuck, which stops the rotation. But this time the issue was a little different. The machine's pressure suddenly spiked, the load on the motor increased, and signs of overheating also started appearing. The operators immediately shut down the system so that no major damage could happen. Now the engineers started analyzing the situation. They saw that the drilling bit was stuck in an unusual layer. This layer was neither completely like hard rock, nor like loose soil. It felt as if there was a dense and compact structure below, something different from the normal geological pattern. When they tried to reverse the machine, it did not come out easily, as if something below was holding it tightly. From here, curiosity started increasing, because usually if it is a rock jam, the machine gets free with a little force. But here the resistance was constant. The engineers understood that this was not a normal blockage. So a decision was taken to stop drilling and do a manual inspection. When the engineers realized that this was not a normal technical issue, they decided to go down and check manually. Wearing safety gear, watch the team slowly reach the point where the drilling machine was stuck. At first, everything looked completely normal. Stones, soil, and the same familiar layers they saw every day. No one still felt that something unusual was there, just an odd blockage that needed to be cleared so work could restart. They first started removing the loose soil around that area so they could understand what the drilling bit was stuck in. As the soil was removed, a solid surface started appearing. At first, they thought it was just a hard rock layer. Such layers are common in mining, and machines often get stuck in them. One engineer lightly struck that surface with a tool. The sound was also like normal rock. Everyone thought the matter would end there. But then a small detail was noticed. A slight shine appeared on one part of the surface. At first, no one paid much attention because sometimes due to minerals or moisture, reflections can appear. But out of curiosity, that part was cleaned a little more. As the dirt kept getting removed, that shine slowly started increasing. And now it was not just a small spot, but it began to look like a continuous pattern. Now a slight silence spread among the team. One engineer looked more closely at that shining part, removed the soil with his hand, and that is when the realization started. This was not an ordinary rock. The material visible inside the surface had a different color and texture. It was that same golden shine that miners recognize. But seeing it in such a concentrated form is rare. At first there was doubt. Was this really gold or just a surface-level illusion? So they took out a small sample. As soon as the sample came out and was seen in the light, everything became clear. These were not just traces. This was part of a high-density gold deposit. Now both excitement and shock were together. Because where every day only a few grams or at most a few ounces of gold were found, this layer looked much richer. They quickly removed more soil, and as the area kept getting exposed, it became clear that this was not a small patch, but a massive gold vein. And this is where the entire story turned. What looked like a simple machine failure had actually become the doorway to a hidden treasure. When that layer was exposed for the first time, everyone only thought that this was a good find. Maybe some extra ounces or at most a few kilograms of gold would come out. But as the excavation moved forward, the picture started changing completely. The soil kept getting removed, the surface kept getting clearer. And that golden layer just didn't seem to end. What first looked like a small patch slowly turned into a long, continuous vein. The engineers started measuring the area, depth, width, spread, and with every measurement, the expressions on their faces kept changing. This was not some random pocket, but a structured gold deposit spread across a large section. Now sample collection was increased. Pieces were taken from different spots and tested, purity check, density check, and the results shocked everyone. This was not just surface gold, but high-grade material, which meant the quantity of gold in it was unusually high. Where normally 1 ton of rock contains only a few grams of gold, here the ratio was many times higher. Slowly, the valuation started becoming clear. First, when it was said, maybe this find would be worth a few $100,000. Then the estimates moved into millions. And finally, when all the data was analyzed, the number came out, around $75 million. That means roughly 600 crore rupees worth of gold, and that too in a single deposit. Now just compare, there are many mining projects where companies work for years, spend millions, and still cannot extract this much gold in their entire lifetime. Some mines operate for 10 to 15 years, and their total output barely reaches around this level. But here, at one place, in one moment, such a massive value appeared. This was not just about money, it was a shock for the entire industry. Because the same site that was earlier considered steady but average suddenly became a high-value hotspot. Now every expert was thinking, if such a huge deposit was hidden here, could there be more veins like this nearby? As excavation continued further, it became clear that this discovery was not finished yet. The direction and depth of the vein were being tracked, and in every new section, the presence of gold was being confirmed. That means this was not just an isolated patch, but possibly part of a larger system. Now even the reaction of the workers had changed. The people who earlier treated this as a routine job now understood that they had become part of history. For the company, this was a financial breakthrough. But for the people on the ground, it was a life-changing moment. And the biggest thing, none of this was the result of any planned exploration. No advanced scanning, with no targeted drilling, just a machine failure that revealed a hidden treasure. As soon as the news of this discovery at Boulder Cut came out, there was a stir across the mining industry. Geologists and mining analysts immediately started studying this case closely because this was not a normal gold find. Usually, such large deposits are found after planned exploration, deep surveys, and advanced scanning. But here, a simple machine failure exposed nearly $75 million worth of gold, which in itself was unusual. Many experts said that this could be a rare geological pattern. According to them, sometimes due to long processes of pressure and temperature inside the earth, gold accumulates in narrow veins. But finding such a high concentration at such a shallow depth is very uncommon. Some geologists even called it a missed zone, meaning an area that had been explored before, but its true value was not properly detected. Mining analysts described this as a wake-up call for the industry. They said that if such a hidden deposit can be found at an active site where drilling has already been done multiple times, it means traditional survey methods are not always accurate. Many companies are now being forced to think, could there be similar hidden pockets in their existing sites that they may have overlooked? Some experts also focused on the numbers. Finding $75 million worth of gold in a single discovery is rare, especially at a place where earlier output was only in grams or ounces. They compared it by saying that many small mines cannot generate this much revenue in their entire lifetime. When this Boulder Cut discovery came into the spotlight, many experts started comparing it with famous gold rush moments in history. The first example that comes up is the California gold rush, when in 1848 the news of gold suddenly spread, and thousands of people left their lives behind just to try their luck. At that time, people did not use advanced machines or modern survey technology, just hand tools, basic equipment, and hope. Still, from some lucky spots, such huge amounts of gold were extracted that even the entire economy changed. In the same way, the Australian gold rush is also a big example, where in the 1850s, gold suddenly started coming out of the ground and thousands of people got involved in mining. There too, the situation was quite similar. People had no idea beforehand that such a huge treasure was hidden underground. Many times, gold was found very close to the surface, and even a small discovery would attract a huge crowd. But the case of Boulder Cut is a little different. The difference here is that today we have modern technology, advanced drilling machines, geological surveys, satellite data. Everything is available. Even then, a gold deposit of around $75 million came out in an accidental way. This itself is shocking. If we compare, in old times, accidental discoveries were common because people had limited tools. But in today's time, where every layer is scanned and analyzed, missing such a hidden deposit has become a big question for experts. Some analysts are even saying that the Boulder Cut discovery is like a modern gold rush moment. The only difference is that earlier people used to search gold with their hands, and today, even with machines, nature still keeps its secrets hidden. Now from here, the story becomes a little deeper and more mysterious, because the biggest question that arises is, could this $75 million gold have been detected earlier? Or was it truly completely hidden? Boulder Cut was not a new site. Drilling had been done here multiple times before, surveys had been conducted, and modern scanning techniques had been used. like ground-penetrating data, density mapping, and geological modeling. The purpose of all this is to estimate in advance what is hidden inside the ground. But still, such a massive gold vein did not come into anyone's notice. Now, two theories are running among experts. The first theory says that this was a missed zone, meaning there was some small error or limitation in the scanning. Sometimes geological layers are so complex that the gold vein blends into the surrounding rock structure, due to which the signals do not come clearly. That means the technology did scan it, but could not interpret it correctly. The second theory is even more interesting. Some geologists believe that this layer was not fully exposed earlier. It is possible that upper layers were covering it, and over time, due to pressure or natural shifts, it slowly came closer to the surface. And when the machine hit that exact point, it suddenly got revealed. So the question is, was this gold always there, but we could not see it? Or did nature reveal it only when the right time came? And this is where the suspense increases even more. Because if, on an active mining site, where every layer has been explored again and again, a hidden deposit of $75 million can still remain buried, then just imagine how many places in the world there could be where such secrets are still hidden. This hidden mystery makes the entire story much more than just a simple discovery. This is not just gold. It is proof that there is still a lot underground that we have not fully understood. The most direct impact of this discovery was on the company. When initial reports revealed that this deposit could be worth around $75 million, it meant that a single find could generate as much profit as many projects fail to produce even after years. Normally, mining companies earn steady income, extracting gold in grams and ounces and slowly building revenue. But here, such a huge value appearing suddenly was like a financial boost. It can affect share value, investor confidence, and in future funding as well, because a successful discovery increases a company's credibility many times. Now, if we talk about the workers, for them this was no longer just a job. After such big finds, many times bonuses are given, contracts get extended, and job security increases. In some cases, local hiring also increases because the company speeds up excavation. That means the same people who were earlier just doing routine work suddenly become part of a life-changing moment. The local economy is also deeply affected by this. In nearby areas, business starts growing. Transport, supply, housing, small shopkeepers. Everyone gets indirect benefits. When a mining site suddenly becomes a high-value zone, investment increases there, infrastructure improves, and the entire region becomes economically active. But along with this, a big question also arises. Whose victory is this discovery actually? Technology or luck? In today's time, companies use AI-based scanning, advanced geological mapping, and data analysis so that hidden deposits can be detected earlier. But in the case of Boulder Cut, even after having so much technology, this $75 million gold did not come out earlier. This is where the debate begins. Some experts say that technology had prepared the groundwork. If the site had not been active, if drilling had not been happening, then this gold would never have come out. That means indirectly technology did have a role, but on the other hand, many people consider it pure luck. According to them, if that machine had not failed at that exact spot, then this deposit might still be hidden underground. Now, the biggest question is, what is going to happen next? Because when around $75 million worth of gold comes out from a single place, it is not easy to believe that the story ends here. Experts are now looking at this entire area with a new perspective. Where earlier it was considered an average production site, now it is being seen as a potential hotspot. New drilling plans are being made, deeper scanning is being done, and nearby sections are also being checked in detail. Because often it happens that one large gold vein is not alone. There can be other connected layers or branches that are still hidden. Companies are also thinking about changing their approach now. Earlier, the focus was only on planned exploration and fixed data, but now accidental indicators are also being taken seriously. Machine behavior, pressure changes, unusual resistance, all these will now be analyzed in a new way. Maybe in the future, AI systems will also be trained in such a way that they can detect hidden patterns that traditional methods miss. This discovery has made one thing clear. No matter how advanced technology becomes, there are still surprises hidden underground. And this uncertainty is what keeps the mining industry moving forward. But the real impact of this story is not just in numbers. The real impact is in that moment when a simple machine failure changed everything. One routine day, one small interruption, and behind it was hidden a treasure worth millions of dollars. And this is where the most powerful twist of the story comes forward. A machine failure that wrote a story worth millions of dollars. Now the final question for you, if that machine had not stopped that day, would this $75 million gold ever have been found? If you like such real stories, then subscribe to the channel, like the video, and press the bell icon so that you can see such shocking updates first in the future.